Alright guys, well, the Toyota did pretty dang well on my last road trip, and this next one we're planning is with the whole family, so figured it's about time to see how the Dakota can do. It's got the space and the storage we want for traveling, so um, we can give it a go. And I've got a map up here I'll pull up and kind of go over as we go along. I'm not sure how to make this exactly interesting. I didn't really get much feedback on the last video of a road trip, so anyway, hopefully it's not too boring for you guys, but I've went over everything, checked all my usual stuff I check. I did actually go ahead and flush the transfer case and the transmission. I don't have a lot of history on both of those. They kind of were just spares I had laying around, but they've been working pretty flawlessly, so I just left them. I think they probably both have 200,000+ miles on them, so just been watching the fluid on both of those. But I flushed the transmission a couple of times now, and I have like almost completely clear fluid on it, so that seems to be doing pretty well. And anyway, I always get the question of how dependable do you think your swaps are? And of course, I try to put the miles on and just make them as foolproof as I can, but I feel about the same way as I do any other vehicle. And being it's a pickup, I've got the back end here full of everything I could possibly need. Welder and straps. I've got spare alternator, spare power steering pump, spare idlers and tensioners. I've got a belt for just the alternator, a spare full belt around the AC and everything, all my tools, everything I could possibly need, I would think. A bunch of spare hoses, and since I had it, I threw in a spare transfer case. Figured, what the heck, why not? So as far as dependability, I really hope I don't need any of that stuff, but I would rather have it and have a quick fix on the side of the road than be stranded. So this is going to be a pretty big trip. I think we'll probably be close to 1,800 miles by the time we're back. So here's that map kind of going over the route. Alright, we're just warming her up. She's sounding good. At 4,696 miles, full tank of fuel, and let's get on the road. Alright, so this is kind of a big layout of the whole route we took. Hopefully you can pause it and zoom in if you want. It's showing about 1,700 miles, but we'll be doing a lot of other going around and seeing things and everything else. So anyway, to start with, that first stretch there to the middle of Nebraska will be the first fill up, so go ahead and fast forward to there. Alright, well, we stopped here at Maverick. Get a bathroom break in, but definitely not going to need fuel yet. We're at 142 miles about, and it's not using any fuel at all. So just keep on a trucking. Alright guys, I'll probably get a little more driving videos as we go along here, but this is my first stop for fuel. I made it 434 miles. The fuel gauge was right about a quarter. Being this aftermarket gauge, I didn't want to push it too hard, but I went ahead and filled up. Took me a while to get it into the fill neck with this high-speed nozzle, but we are at 19.3 gallons, and that is right at 22.5 mpg, which again for this truck is just pretty crazy. I mean, it honestly, it doesn't catch as much attention as I thought it would, because it basically just looks like a second gen Cummins. So nobody even double checks the thing. It's kind of crazy, but anyway, maybe the stickers in the back will help, but we'll just keep on cruising, see what else we can get. I had some tailwind and some headwind there, quite a bit of hills, so we'll see what the rest of the trip looks like. So after that, we stopped at my dad's place and did a little off-roading, even got a video or a picture of it here. And then after that, we continued up into Minnesota and did another fill up there. Alright, so we're cruising through Minnesota here, a lot different than Wyoming. And if yesterday or the few days before MPGs were about best case, this is definitely worst case scenario. I've been trying to find another flag to go by, but we're fighting a pretty good headwind this whole way. The grass is getting pretty laid over. So I'm just going to show you here in overdrive 4th gear. The EGTs are getting pretty warm there, up 11 to 1200 degrees. So I've been backing off and running 3rd, more like 65 mile per hour. That definitely runs a lot cooler. At around 3200 RPM, I can climb hills. There's a lot of rolling hills going through here. And anyway, you can see the EGTs cool way down up higher RPM. It gets rid of the exhaust drone too, so that is a little nicer, but then there's louder engine noise. But here I can climb this hill and barely break 1000 degrees up here at higher RPM, so it's a little smoother that way. Kind of been just having to go back and forth, but we'll check out the fuel mileage on this tank. Definitely not going to make the same as the last one. Alright, so we're about almost 5,500 miles there on the gauge. So that comes out to, I think it was 368 miles. Used another 18 gallons of fuel, so we're just over 20 miles a gallon fighting that headwind, using 3rd gear quite a bit. The only issues I've had, I think turn the fan off here. I think the air conditioner is a little overcharged. It's wanting to get a lot of ice on the lines, and the weather stripping in between the hood and the cowl there, I forgot to put in, and so it's sucking hot air from the engine bay in and making me need to run the AC more than I should, because it's only been about between 65 and 70 but outside. But other than that, no major leaks. It is just running beautiful. I mean, it's a big truck. I do wish it was a little lighter. Fighting that headwind made it a pain, but that, and then all these stinking semi pumps that are high flow, they don't want to turn off on me fast enough, so that's always a downside. But other than that, we're doing good. So we are just about to our destination up here. A couple more hours and we'll be towards Fargo, North Dakota. Alright, after that we had a couple of stops there. Fergus Falls, Minnesota, and Fargo, North Dakota. And then we headed across to Bismarck. Alright, I've been waiting for some flags to kind of show you guys. It is just whipping out here. Thought I'd catch a break turning west, but it is still windy. Just going a little downhill here. And anyway, It's been running about 900 degree EGTs. I think you can see that there. But with this wind, it's been more like almost 1100 pretty steadily. But it is 78 degrees out, and we just broke, we're 400 miles on this tank, so I can't tell for sure what we'll be at for fuel mileage. I think we'll still break 20 though, even with this crosswind. And anyway, yeah, everything else is in check, and we got the AC running with no issues other than that, so still pretty pleased overall. We're almost to Bismarck, heading across I-94, so this will be the third fill up of the trip, and we've already broke 1,000 miles. Alright guys, so we are now at 53.31 miles. Doing a little quick math here. 21.45 mpg or gallons. It's right at, just like I say, we still broke 20 miles a gallon, even fighting that wind, and we still got a pretty good wind judging by the flag, but we are about to turn about straight this direction, so hopefully a little more of a tailwind this time, and we'll catch some better MPGs, but we are still going good, so we'll get back on the road. This is the last day of the trip. We got, I think, 700 miles to cover, so it's it might only be 600. I'll have to look, but yep, we'll keep on the trucking. So yeah, there from Bismarck we headed pretty much zigzag south to Rapid City. Actually got some tailwind there finally, at least when we were going south, so that helped a little bit. Alright guys, we are in Rapid City, South Dakota. This is going to be my last fill up. I'm about 3.5 hours from home, so get back to my good black diesel once I get there. But wanted to give you guys one last fuel mileage update. Mostly a little bit of a crosswind, but quite a bit of tailwind coming. Wasn't near as much, just a lot less windy overall. But anyway, clocked another 303 miles and did it on 13.5 gallons of fuel, so right at 22.5 mpg. So anyway, not a whole lot to update. I have not had a single issue. I'll kind of go over it more once I get home, but that is really all I have to update on. It's been a smooth trip so far, so I'll get with you when I get home. Alright guys, so just under 1,760 miles in 6 days, and we are back home. Overall, like I say, I just hardly had any issues to speak of. I've got a little oil leak out of the oil cooler, and yeah, I think probably that biggest complaint I had as far as comfort was just needing to run the air conditioner probably at like 60 degrees and up, because I think maybe the flap for the heater core is not closing all the way. So it's just wanting to blow lukewarm air and heat up the cab when the sun was out. It really was not a cold trip or a warm trip at all. We really didn't even need air conditioning, so it was kind of annoying to have to run it anyway, but it works, so it was pretty good. And just need to get the AC, get a little bit of it sucked back out again. It's a little overcharged, but no, that was a lot of miles to not really have to touch anything, so overall very pleased. And I think I wasn't able to find a weigh scale to get a full weight on it, but I've got a picture here of it on a scale empty. And then the family is, I don't know, probably right at 500 pounds combined weight, and then we had at least 500 pounds of tools, welder, generator, 4 suitcases, a whole bunch of snacks and everything else. So it was pretty packed to the back of the tailgate there in the box, not to mention the cab full of everything else. So I would say we were definitely right there at 6,500 pounds. And I was super pleased that even with a headwind or a crosswind, I still never dropped below 20 mpg. And once the wind finally did calm down, I was able to get almost up there to 23 mpg. And it's still running a little rich at full throttle on a lot of the rolling hills. I was getting some black smoke climbing the hills, so I think I may be able to improve that a little more even. So definitely looking forward to continuing to fine-tune this thing and really turn it into a daily driver. So hopefully that helped you guys out and you enjoyed the trip. So thanks for watching.